All right, welcome everybody to week 11. We have begun developing our structure for writing project 3, and so now the next step is to actually start writing the essay. One of the big things that I want to kind of reiterate upon is that we need to make sure that when we're writing this, our focus is on something that is newer in the field, and it's not just something that is really well known. It needs to be something that makes the reader think like, oh, okay, that could be an alternative to what everyone else thinks in the field. If your field is kind of broken in 50-50, maybe gun laws, for example, 50% believe that we need legislation, 50% need that say that we don't need legislation for gun laws. For you to create something new, it's going to be kind of difficult there because half and half. There's really no vast majority on either side, so you need to come up with something that is completely new, completely original, that would engage both sides of this audience and say, oh, okay, I haven't really thought about that. You might say something like, come up with a completely different solution rather than gun legislation versus no gun legislation. Kind of go beyond that, transcend the entire argument and say, it's not about guns, it's about funding our police department. If we had more funding for our police departments, then we wouldn't have to worry about mass shootings, and mass shootings would naturally go down because we have more police officers. That would be kind of a new perspective on the argument where most people think 50% think gun legislation, 50% say no gun legislation, and so it kind of takes thinks outside the box and comes up with a new perspective. So nonetheless, I'll provide feedback in that during week 10. And once it comes up, you're not going to have a whole lot to do this week. Really, the big deal this week is just begin by reviewing Writing Project 3 guidelines and, of course, watching this video, because that's going to outline everything you need to have in your essay. Then I suggest coming down here, and actually I'm going to move this up one spot, because I suggest going to the Writing Project 3 rough draft template first. If you want to use this template, you by all means do. It basically provides you an essay where you just kind of write over everything like I did with Writing Project 2 and the annotated bibliography. You just kind of change everything. So student last name will become your last name. Student name will become your name. Professor name will become my name. Course or assignment name will be whichever one you want to put in there, and the date and your title. Now, in each section here, I've gone through and I've provided the understanding, the explanation for that section. So for instance, this first paragraph is the introduction, and within this paragraph I've explained what to write in this paragraph. So you just kind of delete what I wrote and then write what it tells you to write. Same thing for popular opinion, your point of view, and the common ground and compromise. Now remember, and of course the conclusion. Remember, we're using the Rogerian argument, so make sure that if you don't use my template, you still follow the Rogerian argument outline that we've been working on. Other than that, here's the works cited page. It seems like everybody's getting that down pretty well. If you have any questions, of course, this will provide information for, the first one is a scholarly article from a journal. The second one is the title of a web page. And then the third one is for a book, it seems. Yeah. So those are the three most popular, and so if you're using those, great. If you're not using those, well, I always suggest going to the OWL at Purdue University online. So OWL, OWL actually stands for Online Writing Lab at Purdue University. So let's go ahead and go back to week 11. Click on that course content. If you decide to use this, go ahead and use the template. If you write your own, remember to follow Rogerian argument. And click on the number week 11. And now it's time for you to actually start writing your essay. That is the bulk. Well, that's the only thing really due this week. Once you use the template or you create your own, I want you to come down here to the rough draft discussion board, just like in weeks past, and you'll submit your paper. You'll create a thread, and you'll come down, you'll put the subject line, Tommy's Writing Project 3 essay. You can write a description here if you'd like, but then browse your computer and go through and upload your file. Okay, once you've done that, it'll pop up here. So, yes, take that Writing Project 3 rough draft template or create your own essay And once you finish writing that essay, go ahead and submit it here. Now, I don't expect everybody to have that done early. That's why I provide an extra 3 days here to go back and submit a peer review. Because after you submit yours, I need you to go back into the discussion board and read one other person's essay. Using these peer review questions right here, find 5 pieces of constructive criticism and basically tell them 5 things to change about their essay. Make sure you're providing them with things to change, because if you don't tell them anything to change, it's technically not constructive criticism. If you're just telling them good job, or you did this well, or this is effective, that's not really constructive because it doesn't give them anything to change, anything to construct. So what you need to do is use these peer review questions here to provide 5 pieces of constructive criticism. That is 5 pieces of information that you would like to see changed in their essay. So that's all let's do this week. You write your essay, and then once you submit and publish yours on here, find someone else that's published theirs and read it. And then using these peer review questions here, provide them with 5 pieces of constructive criticism. That is things that you would like to see change within their essay. Make sure you submit them, these suggestions to your peers, and then we will pick back up with that in week 12. So if you have any other questions, feel free to contact me via Skype, email, text, or phone call, and I will get back to you. And usually email and text and phone call I can get back to right away. Skype sometimes takes a few days because I don't get on Skype every day. But nonetheless, use those to contact me if you need anything. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys or talking with you guys in week 12, and we will work on our final draft of Writing Project 3 then. Have a good week.